And we're off. Alright, so the first thing I should mention is that we use in-game time when we run this game. So you'll notice that the timers will be a little bit different depending on the load times between the two players. And there's nothing we can really do about this, but because of load times, they'll vary a bit. But by the end of the run, we'll just see whoever's time is faster, and whoever's the faster time will end up winning. I'll try to do my best to see who's in the lead, but right now it's kind of hard to tell. They're just starting off. So this is Welcome to Mafia Town, and we're just going to pick up some 2 yarn here to craft the sprint hat, which is really useful in the run. And you can see on Sefi's screen here that we can craft the sprint hat during the cutscene to save time by exiting out of the menu while the timepiece is floating there. And they're pretty close right now, but it seems like Sefi's got about a 3-second lead. Now we're going to be going to She Came From Outer Space, which is actually Act 3, but the reason we do it first is to collect more yarn so we can craft the brewer hat, which we'll be using for a couple levels, and it makes barrel battle a lot faster, so that's why we go here first. So right here, we're going to be doing one of the first glitches in the run, and it's called, it's just a ticket duplication. And all you have to do is collect a ticket during iframes or invincibility frames. So what we do is we get hit by the bird over there on purpose, and then while we have those iframes, we can run into a ticket and it'll count as 2 instead of 1. And we'll be doing that in another level shortly. And it's just really helpful for making things even faster. And we're gonna do the same thing where we exit out of the hat creation screen during this little cutscene, so we don't have to watch it, or we can watch both at the same time. And this is one of the first instances of RNG in the run. This Mafia guy that we're chasing around can drop between 3 and 5 pawns every time we scare him. And we're gonna look for about 30. 30 is a pretty good number coming out of this. So Sefi's got 35, which is a lot. So he should be pretty comfortable and be able to save some time later by not having to pick up some pawns. Ooh, Max missing that jump there. It's pretty tight. So Max has 32 pawns, which is still good too. You'll also notice that there are 2 timers on the screen in the game, and the one in the top right is the segment timer, and the one at the top middle is the total timer without loads. And so the segment timer is just basically the time in the level, and so yeah, we can use that for ILs and stuff like that. But it will freeze in a couple levels, and we'll do a trick that'll come up eventually. So now Sefi's in barrel battle, and this is why we have the brewer hat. You'll see here that he'll charge up the brewer potion, because the brewer potion does 2 damage while each umbrella swing is 1. So we can charge it on the way to a Mafia guy in order to do the fight a little bit faster. Also, we can use the brewer potion to knock the Mafia guy down at the end of this barrel phase, which I think does an extra damage, unless I got that wrong. But it also makes him come down faster, making the fight a decent amount faster than doing it without the brewer potion or the brewer hat. So yeah, the runners are pretty close coming into this level. I'm not sure of whose loads are faster yet. I haven't been paying too much attention to that, but they're pretty close. I think Sefi's in the lead though. Oops, Sefi's somehow getting hit by that barrel. See, when the Mafia guy is glowing red like that, he can't be hit by normal attacks like just your umbrella swings. So you either do a homing attack or use your brewer potion to hit him there. We'll see here who's in the lead. So Sefi comes out with a 432. And there's a cutscene there. We play with cutscene skips on as an option in the menu, and it just skips all the cutscenes. However, there are some cutscenes that it doesn't skip, and that one we can just exit the hub to skip. And Max is going to get probably about 5 minutes here, so he's about 25 seconds behind. And Sefi's going to go into the first real boss level of the game, down at the Mafia. You can get a double hit against those two Mafia guys there, but it's pretty tight. So for this level, we're just going to jump on this chair and onto this lamppost to get this bucket as quickly as possible. Because we need it for this switch coming up here to get the key. This is a place where I like to check my pawns, because we need the pawns to unlock levels later in the game. And 82 right here is a lot. At least for my route, so he should be really comfortable going into here, not having to pick up extra pawns and just saving a bit of time there. Right now he's doing, Sefi's doing fight skip. We can wall run up the, oh, he made that, okay, wow. I thought he was gonna miss that. I've never seen that before. You can wall up between like the column and the side of the wall, and then you can get on those little arches there in order to fight, skip a fight, which takes about, I want to say 8 seconds, and skip a little bit of a cutscene. And now for the Mafia boss, this is also a bit of RNG. You can see that sandbag attack he did there. He can do that up to 4 times, and every single time he does it, we can't attack him. So it essentially directly loses time. So you can get that between 2 and 4 times. Which I believe the difference between them is about 7 seconds. Ooh, looks like Max fell during the fight skip. So this is a cutscene that Sefi was able to skip. You're gonna have to fight these two Mafia guys here, which doesn't take too much time, but every time save is good. See, now Sefi's going to use the Brewer hat and charge it in the far right corner. I'm sorry, I missed a little bit. And if while charging it, he'll push you into him, and for some reason, it forces him out of bounds and instantly kills the boss. And it saves about a minute. Which is another reason why we craft the Brewer hat so early. So now after the Mafia boss, this is generally where the most route diversion comes into play into Mafia Town. Some players will opt to go to sewers first, and some will opt to do Golden Vault first. It doesn't really make a difference time-wise, it's just runner preference. We'll see what Sefi does here. Looks like Sefi's going to go for sewers first. Once again, he has a lot of pawns going into this, so he's doing very well. He needs 100 going into heating up Mafia Town. So he should be good on those. Max also finishing up the Mafia boss. Sefi looks like he's going to get a first cycle here. Yep. That saves about 4 seconds, I want to believe. It's a really nice sewers from Sefi. Let's see if Max also opts to do sewers first. Sefi getting the green color from the roulette. The roulettes are also random, but they only give you cosmetics. The only thing that affects the run is if you get a CD or a record, whatever you want to call it. Getting a CD for the first time loses you 3 seconds, but you're generally going to get a CD somewhere in the run, so it doesn't really matter too much. Yeah, and it looks like Max is also going to do sewers first. Looks like he needed to pick up a few extra pawns, so he's going to lose a bit of time there. And Sefi here, he's going for the second dupe, like I mentioned earlier. He's going for the double dupe on Golden Vault, and this saves a lot of time. What you need to do is you need to do an SDJ off that clock tower to get that height. Well, you can also do a DSJ, but I won't go into that quite yet. So an SDJ is basically a sprint double jump, and while sprinting, you normally can't double jump out of it. You do a special jump called a sprint jump. But if you let go of sprint right before you jump, you can conserve the momentum of your sprint while jumping, and it allows you to double jump too. So you can get extra distance that the developers didn't intend you getting. And that allows us to get that extreme distance and height, allowing us to take damage on purpose there, and use those invisibility frames to duplicate that first ticket. Heating up Mafia Town has a few strats, as Sefi goes into that right now. We'll see what he does here. There was a new strat that was just recently discovered, so let's see if he uses that. No, it doesn't look like it. Looks like he's going, I'm gonna guess 2 death. We'll see. So Max here on the right is doing the, he's probably gonna get 3 tickets here and duplicate only 1, which I want to say is about 10 seconds slower than the double dupe, but it's much safer. Yes, Sefi's gonna go for the 2 death strat here on Heating up Mafia Town. What we do is we intentionally die to send us back to a checkpoint after we hit these, because it's much faster than going back ourselves. So he's going to be trying to take damage as most efficiently as possible, so he doesn't have to waste too much time taking damage, but can still die to teleport back. See if he gets lat 5. Nope. Sometimes you can get the voice line for saying 5 there is really loud. Let's see what Max goes for here. Yeah, these runners are still pretty close. I do want to say Sefi has a decent lead, but it's nothing insurmountable. Could definitely come back. So yeah, Sefi finishes with 11:39:51 on Heating up Mafia Town. So I'll keep track of that. Oh, looks like Max gonna take an unfortunate death there. That I do not know how much time that's gonna cost him, but that's definitely a big chunk. That's a really far distance he has to travel. That's really gonna hurt. And he also has to take damage on purpose again if he wants to warp back. So now Sefi's going to do the second rift of the run, Bazaar. And this is going to be the last level in Heating up Mafia Town for a while. But we'll come back later to do a level that we can't afford right now. Bazaar is one of my favorite rifts, personally. I just think the movement's really cool and fun. There's a lot of just cool things happening. Oh, looks like he missed the dive boost there, which isn't too big of a deal, because the checkpoint is right there. He should be able to get to this, no problem. Yeah. Another color for Sefi. It's a good one. So now Sefi's going to head into World 3. And the reason we do World 3 before we do World 2 is because the route for pawns just makes more sense. We don't need to spend pawns to unlock levels in this world, while in World 2 we do. So we're going to go through this world, and while we're doing it normal, we can just collect pawns here and there, and we don't have to worry about getting pawns too much. And we also get the grappling hook in this world, which makes things faster, and also unlocks a few levels in World 2 that we won't be able to normally complete. Mac's having a little trouble here after falling. And on Sefi's screen, he's going to be going for a trick called Snatcher Bag Skip. And what he's going to want to do is he's want to do an SDJ off this tree here. It looks like he didn't get it, unfortunately. And skip this cutscene over here that he's going to be rolling into now. It's about 40 seconds long, but including the time that gets up the tree, it saves about 30-something seconds, I want to say. It's probably a 50-second cutscene, actually. Bag skip is not an easy trick though, so it's not too big of a deal that he missed it. However, it does give Max another chance to get back into this, as if he gets it first try, which I'm not sure if he goes for, but if he does get it first try, that will give him a lot of time to come back. I believe Sefi here is going to be going for the first Death Warp in the run. So he's going to be taking some intentional damage. Oh, and actually no, we did a couple Death Warps in Heating Up Maki Town, but we're going to use a different kind of Death Warp. We're going to die on purpose as we collect the timepiece to go back to the beginning of the level. And how the levels work in Subcon Forest is when a level ends, we can, all the levels, or most of the levels are accessible just in the world. Their loading zones are there and we can go to them without having the contract. And so we can just intentionally die to warp us back to the beginning of the level, so we don't have to go back to the spaceship to access those levels, which saves a decent amount of time. Looks like Max is now on his way to Subcon Forest. So what you're going to see Sefi do is he's going to take this cherry, and he's going to light the cherry, or the cherry bomb, and he's going to throw it and collect the timepiece as the cherry blows up, killing himself, sending him back to the beginning of the level. And what this does is it actually pauses or stops the in-game segment timer at the top right, which doesn't really do anything, but it's just something to keep note of. So you can see if someone does a Death Warp like that just by looking at the timer there. Ooh, doing some swag juggles with the painting there. And I believe Max didn't go for Snatcher Bag Skip, so he's going to save a bit of time there for not going for it and missing it. And I believe Sefi here is going to go for this, I'm not sure what to call it, but this boost off the well here. So what he does there is he holds up between the well and the tree, and he dives in between them, and what the game does is it forces him up because the gap between it is too small. And he gets a lot of speed there, allowing him to climb the well without using the bell, which saves a lot of time. And we're also going to pick up the hookshot badge in Subcon Well here. And we use it for the well escape and in a lot of places in the run. Looks like Max is also going to go for the intentional death here. The end of contractual obligations. That's what Sefi did there on his screen. I'm not sure exactly how it works because I don't do it myself. But what I believe he did is when that contract comes up, you can switch to keyboard and mouse and continue moving during the cutscene with that, or not the cutscene, but with the contract up that you normally can't move during that. But if you switch to keyboard and mouse, I believe you can move during that and you can save a bit of time there. So now we're going to head back into contractual obligations, and we're going to do Vanessa's Manor. And like I said before, you can, for most of the levels in Subcon Forest, you can enter through anywhere, and you can still reach the level even though you don't have the contract. It looks like Max also got the death there. Dying there and missing the timepiece loses a lot of time, so it's good that both of them got it. Ooh, oh. Looks like Max is gonna fall victim to the swamp there. Getting on that route is really frustrating. It really likes to slide you off. Oh, looks like Max missed the well skip. Looks like he's gonna go for it again now. And he got a second try. So what Sefi's doing here, he's actually just going to crawl through a hole in the wall there that I believe the developers put there on purpose. And it just allows us to skip the entire mansion section of Queen Vanessa's Manor, which saves a lot of time. It's nothing difficult, it's just knowing that it's there. And Max just picked up the grappling hook, the hook shot. He's going to be making his way out of the well now. So what you can do there that Max can do is you can actually jump off the switch right before the cutscene plays, and while the cutscene's playing, you'll still fall, which will save a decent amount of time. Because the cutscene will play, you're still falling, so you're still traveling while you normally couldn't move. Ooh, Max sliding, but he didn't fall. Oh, he's teleporting. So yeah, in this game, if the game thinks you're stuck, it'll teleport you back to the last location where it thinks you're safe. So that's what happened right there. He slid, but he got stuck somewhere, so the game teleported him. Now Sefi's going to do Pipe, which is the first rift in Subcon Forest. And all these rifts are really cycle-based, so it looks like he's going to go for this first cycle here by diving, boosting off that gear, and he's going to get it. It's a pretty tight cycle to get, and if you get it, it saves a decent amount of time. You'll see over here on Max's screen, let's see if he also switches to keyboard and mouse to be able to move here. Yes, yeah, he switches to keyboard here. So you can see he can still move with that screen up. And you can also exit to hub while collecting that timepiece to save even more time. not sure if Sefi's doing mail delivery service now or if he's doing village. Okay, looks like he's doing village. Most people enter through contractual obligations, but the spawn on mail delivery and contractual obligations is the same. So he's going to be using this spawn point to get to the village rift here. And the entrance to the village rift has a couple ways. You have a couple ways of going about it. Let's see what he goes for. Looks like he tried to go for the DSJ entrance, but he got the double jump one in. So I guess I'll quickly explain what a DSJ is. A DSJ is a double sprint jump, which unlike a sprint double jump, which I know they sound very similar, a double sprint jump is basically inputting a sprint jump right before you fall off a platform or go off a ledge. And what the game does is it gives you some lenience. So while you walk off a ledge, it resets your jump because you have a small window to input a jump after you fall off a ledge. This allows us to get a very small sprint jump, but then a normal length sprint jump immediately after, so we can get some good vertical height. And so what he was trying to do is he was trying to use that double sprint jump to get up to the rift there quickly, but it's really tight. So now Sefi's going to do the last level of Subcon Forest, mail delivery service. And this level, if you're not a keyboard and mouse runner, which most people aren't, you're going to be switching to keyboard and mouse for this level, because it's just much easier to aim with the keyboard and mouse rather than the controller. And there's a shot in this level where you can go for 2 packages in only 1 shot, because the little guys there can line up, or are lined up, and you can get both of them with 1 shot, which is really nice. And same thing there as Subcon will, you can actually use your keyboard and mouse to walk around and exit back to hub while you collect the timepiece. And another thing to note, that during the mail delivery service level, the scooter that you ride is actually a badge, which unequips your hookshot badge, which means you actually have to manually re-equip it. Let's see what Max gets here on pipe. Looks like he's going to miss the first cycle, which isn't too big of a deal. It's a lot better than dying.
Ready, darlings? Let's make this movie happen! Owls, in position! Action!
So Sefi right now is doing the first Battle of the Birds level. And this is Deadbird Studio. And the way this level works is it's kind of like a stealth mission, as you're supposed to go around and dodge all the field of view of the penguins here. All of them have different alert times, and this one coming up right here can really be annoying, as it'll almost instantly detect you. And when you get detected by these penguins, they'll send you back to the last checkpoint and deal 1 damage to you.
We need to give you a...
Now Max is also heading towards Village. Let's see what entry he goes for. It's one of those things that a lot of people just do differently because there's just a lot of ways to do it, and the time difference between them isn't too big. So what he's going to go for here is he's just going to go, I believe this is the intended route, to hit all the spiders up there and then a crossover that way, which is the slowest way, but it's definitely the safest. So now Sefi's heading into Murder on the Owl Express. And once again, if you're not a keyboard player, which Sefi isn't, you're actually going to want to switch to your keyboard and mouse there because you can actually use your keyboard to much faster type in just anything to get through that text box faster. So on this level, you're supposed to be going around collecting evidence, as you'll see why soon. And we're not going to do that because we don't need any to complete the level. And they'll just give us a default option at the end. And there's going to be a lot of sequence breaking in this level. So you can see here on Sefi's screen that supposedly our aunt there, the big, I don't know, I think she looks like an onion. The big onion-looking cardboard woman there seems to have murdered that owl there, and we have to figure out why. So we're gonna go up here actually, instead of doing the bottom floor here, and try to get up onto that platform and trigger that switch, which skips a lot of stuff in this level and saves a lot of time. And you can see here that the clock will say, you know, however long you have left. But that's actually not time-based, it's trigger-based. So when you hit certain doors, that cutscene will trigger. And for this jump that Sefi's about to do, you have to be really careful because he's going to want to try to land on this door, but if you miss, you could accidentally use the key up, and you'd have to go grab another key, and that's a lot of time. And it looks like Max just finished up Subcon 4, so he's going to be joining Sefi in Battle of the Birds very soon. So now that we're in Battle of the Birds, well, both players are, we're gonna have to be warning about pawns again, because in this world, some levels do cost pawns, and one of the most expensive levels in the game, Big Parade, costs 150 pawns to enter. So we're gonna need to collect a lot of pawns most efficiently as possible. So Sefi is doing Picture Perfect. And there are, I believe, 2 different ways to do this. And it looks like he's going for the newer reverse method, which is decently faster than the previous forward version. So the way we did Picture Perfect before is we went, at the beginning, we went to the left, and we went around and we talked to all these penguins and got our picture taken, which is how you score these diva points you can see at the bottom. But we actually do it backwards now, and we still talk to almost all of the same penguins, so we get the same amount of points in the end. The only difference is that here at the end, we don't have to go to that little icon down there, that grooves icon. That dog spawns up there normally after you hit that icon, but for some reason if you do it backwards, that dog spawns up there without touching that. So we save some time by avoiding that little cutscene. I believe you also get more pawns doing that newer route, which is really nice. This is another point in the run where routes can differ. As you have a lot of options here as to what level you can go to, and the order doesn't matter once again for the most part. It's pretty much preference. So it looks like Sefi's going to go Train Rush here, which I believe is pretty common. And Train Rush is one of those levels where it's just pure platforming, and it's just one of the most fun levels to run and to watch, just because the platforming is really cool and fast. It looks like Sefi missed a panel. Not a big deal.
1 minute and 20 seconds until self-destruct. Better hurry.
Very clean train rush on Sefi's part though, other than missing that one panel. 130 doors is really good. And once again, we're going, for the last time, we're going to be crafting a hat during the timepiece cutscene. And Sefi going for the little glitch where if you dive boost when collecting that timepiece, you can actually just fall through the level there. And yeah, so Sefi just crafted the ice cap, which we're not going to be using much, but we'll be using it to do a few tricks coming soon. GM. Sefi going for the DSJ strat there on gallery. One of my favorites. Alright, nice. It looks like Max also got him to the door nice and safely. And he's going to be finishing up Murder on the Air Express very soon. I can't really tell the difference between the two of them in terms of time, but Sefi definitely has a large lead going into Big Braid, I believe. No, Murder. He's going Murder. Murder Rift. Yeah, he's 2 levels ahead. No, 3. Because Max didn't do picture perfect yet either. Right. So yeah, Max is about 3 levels behind, which is a pretty big lead for Sefi. But throughout the tournament, a lot of people have been having trouble with Finale, so you never really know. So now Sefi's going to Murder on the AliExpress Rift. Oh, he was trying to go for an SDJ there, but accidentally let go too late. Or too early? No, too late. Yeah, so he did sprint jump instead. So he's going to miss the first cycle on this level. But he gets a perfect second cycle there, coincidentally. Oh, wow. Very close there for Sefi, bonking on the gear, but still landing on the platform. Very fortunate. Max also going for reverse picture perfect. Now Sefi's going to be hopping into everybody's favorite level of Big Parade. Big Parade is so great. See, a Big Parade is essentially about a 4-minute auto-scroller. It's not exactly an auto-scroller. It looks like Sefi isn't looking forward to doing it as he hits DJ grooves there a couple times.
Get ready. Go!
So essentially during this 4-minute auto-scroller, as you can see at the bottom right, there's going to be this blue timer ticking down there in the form of a ring, a circle. And once that hits 0, or fills up, I guess, we'll actually have to do some not precise movement, but we're going to actually have to worry about our movement. Because during the timer ticking down, we just go around and we collect pawns because we just sit here. We don't really have anything to do other than it. Just dodge these owls following us. See, the best way to make use of our time is just go around collecting pawns. But once that fills up, we're going to have to hit a few dials here. And the faster we hit the dials, the faster we do the level. That's really all that matters. Everything in between isn't really important. And it doesn't look like Sefi's going to go for the stuck warp or whatever people are calling it, the newer strat here on Big Parade, which allows us to set a location, our safe spot, and warp back to it by getting intentionally stuck, like what happened to Max in the well. So now that Sefi completed the first phase, I guess, we're going to do some more waiting, more collecting of pawns, and wait for this timer to tick up again. So what we're shooting here for pawns, the green currency, I don't think I mentioned that yet, that you see at the bottom left when he collects them, is we're shooting for 50, which Sefi's at 48 right now, and he should get 50 right here. Yep. So we're shooting for 50 because the last level we need to unlock, cheating the race, costs 50. And we're going to be doing it really soon, so we need all the pawns we can get right now. So now Sefi's going to be making use of that ice hat that we crafted pretty recently on Train Rush. And when you use the ice hat here, you can actually clump all these owls that are following you together. And for some reason when you come out, they don't hit you, because I guess your hitbox is already intersecting, I'm guessing. I'm not actually sure if that's how it works. And we can use this to just sit here, which doesn't really save too much time, but it's just nice not having to think about dodging them. So now we're going to go around hitting these switches on these floats. And this is the after that, we're going to be doing the last bit of waiting here on the Big Parade. And we're going to use the ice hat. So you can see Sefi here dropping to 1 health on purpose. We're going to be using this ice hat to set up a death warp like on Contractual Obligations to send us to the beginning of Big Parade. You do have to watch out for these rockets that are coming at you because they can mess you up. You just have to be careful. As you can see Sefi, he's lined up with that party ball at the top there. I call it a party ball because I play monkey ball, I run that. And he's going to be aiming at that timepiece, and he's going to jump and then aim back at the owls and to try to get hit into the timepiece, but it didn't look like he got it. It's not the biggest deal. However, if he died, rather than getting, I think he hit a rocket, but I'm not sure. If he had died, he would have had to wait for the timer again on that third phase of Big Parade, and he'd lose, I want to say 40 seconds. So it's good that he didn't die. So this, what Sefi's doing right now is what he would have avoided if he got the death. He wouldn't have to be sitting in those menus and going back to the ship. He would have spawned right where he's going to spawn right now. Or not, actually no, you wouldn't spawn there. He'd spawn on the roof by DJ Gruce, because that's where the checkpoint was. And then he'd just go into the rift through there. So on Max's screen, what he just did is, instead of doing a DSJ, he wall climbed up and then jumped off the wall to trigger a checkpoint. And he died on purpose to warp to that checkpoint. Sefi here going for one of the more important SDJs in the run, I want to say, other than for double dupe and backskip. You can see how much distance you get off that SDJ there, crossing the entire level. Skipping a lot of what you're supposed to do. And what he's going to do is he's going to jump as that platform's coming up. And what that does is it gives him a lot of vertical speed because it takes into consideration the speed of the platform coming up. And it gives you a lot of vertical height, and it allowed him to get onto that fence there. And do another. The reason we die there on Moon, I believe it saves about 1 second, which is nothing, but we can intentionally die there, and we can actually skip the roulette that normally comes up after we beat a rift. Sefi's going into the hardest level of the run. Looks like he actually had, he had DJ Grooves win, because he didn't get the death on Big Parade, which is a little bit slower than getting Conductor. Just the animation of him giving you the timepiece is a little bit longer, and he has one additional text box that you have to mash through. Now Sefi's doing Big Parade. Just a really thrilling level. So while Max is in Big Parade, having the time of his life, Sefi's entering Mafia Town again to do the last level, cheating the race. Last level of Mafia Town, that is. And so normally for cheating the race, you're supposed to get a special hat in World 4, which we don't even go to. And it's a time stop hat. What that does, it just slows the movement of everything. And you're supposed to use that to, well, cheat the race and beat him. The fastest man alive. Oh, it looks like Sefi's stream is freezing here on my end at the very least. So what Sefi needs to do is he just needs to get some clean movement and just make it to the end before he does. Which it's not the hardest thing in the world, but every mistake you do make is crucial. Because if you just make too much of a mistake, like too big of a mistake, you will just lose like 40 seconds straight up. So I'd say you just go for the easiest movement you can do while still finishing it, and then you should be fine every time. Because I know a lot of runners have trouble with cheating the race. Sefi's doing the last time rift and the last level before finale. Mailroom. Looks like he's gonna miss the cog there by a bit. Not a big deal. Those birds that are chasing him are really, really annoying. They have insane knockback. Final roulette. Ooh, ladybug. Final roulette gives Sefi the ladybug.
Here we go!
I get this once in a run cutscene from Mustache Girl, or loading screen. It's really laggy for some reason. Not sure why. Now we play as her for 2 seconds. Fun fact, Mustache Girl, when you're playing as her, cannot climb ladders, and she cannot climb ledges for some reason. Not sure why. She can dive and dive boost. So now we're gonna head over to finale, which is requires 25 timepieces, which is exactly what we have now. Ooh, Sefi's gonna make it up. Yeah, okay. Thought he was gonna miss that there for a second. And we can make use of this conveniently placed grandfather clock here to jump over this gate that we're not supposed to be able to get over. Normally to make that gate go down, we need the Dweller mask, which we do not craft. This is just too much yarn. And we don't really need it, because we can avoid every instance of needing it.
He's just
And the most important one here is actually in Finale. There's a big dweller wall that we cannot pass through unless we do Finale skip here. So every runner is required to do Finale skip in one way or another. So let's see how Sefi goes about doing it. So essentially you just need to clip through that, not clip, but there's a little hole there that the developers I guess didn't notice that they left there, and you can just dive through that little hole and boost up onto a ledge using the lava. And then we can wall climb between these two textures there, very coincidentally, and get up onto the top of Finale, which is it's basically completely solid, aside from a few holes here and there. So Sefi's going to be going for slides. I'm not sure if he's going for full slides or safe slides. And it's much faster than dive boosting across the top. I'm not sure how much faster. I've always done slides. And I want to say he's going for full slides. We'll see very shortly. Yeah, Sefi's going for full slides. You can see right there at that chandelier, and soon here at these lanterns right about now. He's going to be moving right and then left really precisely. And that's to avoid some invisible walls that are here at the end of Finale. And if you don't do, if you're not holding left as you pass through certain invisible walls, you will bonk on them, which makes you fall and you have to redo the entire level over again, basically. It's from the checkpoint there at the beginning. Ooh, Max taking a little bit of a fall there. Wait, actually? Is that faster? Huh. Yeah, Max not going for the SDJ and does it the intended way. But it looks like he did a bit of a death warp there that I wasn't aware of. So yeah, Sefi now going back inbounds. Very well done. Does full slides without a hitch. Gets to Mustache Girl. Now the only thing he has to be worried about is getting hit 3 times, but I don't think that's going to happen. It's very healthy going into this fight. So now that he finished that first phase, he's safe. If he dies, he'll go back to the beginning of the fight here after these hourglasses, rather than starting the entire level over again. This fight always destroys the bitrate, no matter your internet quality or the strength of your computer. Max now entering the hardest level in the game. Has a conductor win though, so he's going to save about a second over Sefi there. So when Mustache Girl jumps into the air there, you're normally not supposed to be able to hit her, but if with a well-timed double jump and Brewer Potion, you can hit her, making that phase of the fight a decent bit faster, as we can switch between hitting her with the potion and hitting her with the ball. I'm not sure what's happening with Mustache Girl there. Okay, that was a little weird. It seemed like Sefi was juggling Mustache Girl. That was pretty funny. I've never seen that. Sefi actually got hit there on purpose because it's a bit faster, like a very slightly faster, to get hit by her when she's in that shield there for the first time. So now this is a big part of RNG in the run, and it's really frustrating as right here at the end of the run. The amount of times that she puts her shield up is pretty random, and I say pretty random because of course your execution also matters. But she can have her shield up between 1 and 5 times, I believe is the max. So I believe he got a 3 cherry, which is very average. Oh, is Max gonna win this race? No, he's gonna hit bonk on that table and he's gonna have to restart. Yeah, Max failing CTR is gonna have to retry. That's about 40 seconds for him. So now Sefi's heading into the final phase of Mustache Girl to 48. His PB is 49.20. So it's going to be really, really close. He may be able to PB this run. If he gets a good last phase, he should be able to PB, I'm pretty sure. I'm not exactly sure on the timings here. It's really hard to read that timer though with the bit rate. I believe someone mentioned earlier in a different race that once you see the, or once you finish this first phase, I think it's 14 seconds to collect the timepiece. So actually, yeah, I think Sefi just PB'd there. So congratulations to Sefi for PBing in a race. That's always an amazing feeling that you don't expect. So yeah, Sefi finishing with a 49.08. That's a 12-second PB for him. So congratulations to Sefi. And yeah, that should seal the deal here against Max, as he is still in mailroom. And I believe the possibility for Max PBing is no longer there, as he has a 53.29. And finale at least takes 5 minutes. He still needs to get to finale. So yeah, once again, congratulations to Sefi on the win. Decides to not give the timepiece to Mustache Girl. World record is 44.51, I believe. Yeah, 44.51 by Sonic Yellow. So I'm not sure if Sefi wants to come in for a interview. I'm not exactly sure how that works. But Max now entering a finale here. Let's see how he does. Finale can always be tough for anyone, really. You see the best of runners fail it every once in a while. Can't do an interview? Okay, that's fine, Sefi. Congratulations. So you'll go on to face the winner of Hija and Dai, which I'm going to be quite honest, I'm not feeling very comfortable going against Hija. It's a very, very good runner. But good luck on your next race. Congratulations on the win. So yeah, Max now doing the wall climb here. Opting to do double jump or normal jump wall jumps here. Same thing I do. It's a little bit slower than doing a sprint jump getup, but it's safer, at least in my opinion. And easier. Max going for slides here. Not exactly what kind of slide he's going for yet. Looks like he's going for full slides. Nope. He's going for safe slides, I believe. Don't quote me on that. I believe those are called safe slides. Looks like it doesn't get the fastest boost from the dive there. Not a big deal. He's going to be avoiding this hole here now. Makes it over the hole. Now he should be able to do these slides like normal, like Sefi was doing. And safe slides are just a bit slower, much faster still than dive boosting across the top. But a little bit slower than doing the full slides, which are riskier. Alright, so Max, he finishes the slides, makes it to the top again. Let's see if he can get back in bounds safely, because I know a lot of people, there's a lot of pressure going into the end right here. It really sucks to mess up here. Max going for this vertical entry. I'm not exactly sure how it works personally. And he gets it. So now Max going into the first phase of Mustache Girl. All he has to do is avoid getting hit twice, and he should be safe. Max getting a triple, which is very nice to see. If you time your attacks correctly here in certain phases of the Mustache Girl fight, you can get multiple hits in with your umbrella. And using those, it's pretty optimal to get a 2-cycle there in that first phase. I believe Max got a 3. Not bad. Not bad at all. Making quick work of Mustache Girl here with these brewer potions. It's gonna be on to phase 2 very soon. I'm not sure how many hits it is. It's not here. Mustache Girl's gonna do these long range lasers, and if you get close, she's just going to instantly teleport. The 2 ways of doing it are running at her to force her to teleport. She only teleports 4 times. Or sniping her with a long range brewer potion, which is a bit more difficult. So that's phase 2 down. Now we're on to the cherry phase. So yeah, getting hit right there is just a tiny bit faster. It's not a big deal. Decides not to get hit. Holding that cherry does slow you down quite a bit, so dodging that attack can be a bit tricky. Gets a nice double though with the brewer into homing attack. Oh, Mustache Girl stuck in the floor there. He's going to be missing an attack. That's really unfortunate. So that's 2 cherries now. Might have been able to get a 2 cherry if Mustache Girl cooperated there. Unfortunately, she decided to get stuck in the floor, which does happen. He's got to be careful here, though. He's at 1 HP, and during that attack, it can be a little difficult to dodge the shockwave while holding that cherry. Gets a nice double, though, and finishes off the 3rd phase. Now all the NPCs decide to give Hat Kid their energy by killing themselves, giving them their heart pawns. You can see all the enemies that we never saw in World 4, such as Big Minotaur Guy and Cat Thieves. So yeah, now Max is completely safe. I don't even think it's possible to die on this final phase. So whenever you get hit, your life just gets restored to full. And 1 more attack, I believe, should do it. Yep, there you go. So I think that's a 56-31? According to what, I don't remember who said it. Oh, maybe it's a little wrong. 56-33 flat for Max. Which is not bad at all. So congratulations to both runners. It was a pretty close race for the most part. Sefi did gain a lot of advantages on Max though. throughout the run. It just slowly started increasing and increasing. Oh, Sefi showing off the ladder clip here and the spaceship, which isn't very useful unless you want to go to the mail room without the ice hat, but that's slow. So yeah, I'm not sure if Max wants to join us for a post-race interview, but he's welcome to if he wishes.
Hey,
Hello?
hi.
Hey there, Max. How'd you feel about that run?
Pretty bad. I missed so many things.
Well, yeah, it's kind of hard going into a race. You never know what to expect.
Yeah. Like,
So,
I missed eating up Mafia Town. I missed Subconwell and cheating the race. So
yeah. So, how long have you been just running the game? Just curious.
how long you mean? How many hours I have in the game, or
Uh,
how many months?
doesn't matter.
I have 100 hours in the game.
That's pretty good because I don't know. I feel like a lot of people are just. I actually don't really know where I'm going with this, to be honest.
Hmm?
Sorry, I wasn't really supposed to be commentating this race. But yeah, thank you for racing. It was a really close race for the most part. Sefi did he did go for a few things that you didn't, which I mean it just gave him the edge at the end of the day. Do you go for SDJs?
Sometimes I try to, but most times no.
Yeah, Sefi went for a few, so I think that kind of like helped him in places.
I try to do SDJs in the Owl Express Rift, but
Yeah.
not too much.
Those are good slides, though. Made it
Yeah, yeah.
nice and safe to the end.
I learned the slide just yesterday.
Oh, that's really good though. It saves a lot of
Yeah.
time. Do you actually know how much time the safe slides save over the dive boost? Because I'm not actually sure about that.
Something like 20 seconds.
Yeah, it's a big deal.
Right.
It's always
yeah.
nice to learn those. No, do you have anything else to say?
No, nothing. Thank you.
No problem. Thank you for racing. It was a really enjoyable race. So if no one has anything else to say, then thank you for watching, everybody. There's going to be another race coming up later today at 7:30 p.m. EDT. So I believe that's in 2 hours 15 minutes. Against Patwa and Shockwave. I believe that's a very close race. So if you're interested in this kind of thing, then come check that out. It's on Speed Gaming 2, just like we are right now. So yeah, thank you very much, and have a good day.
Yeah. Bye.